Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy and today we're going to be painting backgrounds on some offcuts of my watercolor paper and making bookmarks. I'm using my Kuretake Gansai Tambi, or if that's the order that goes in, watercolors, which I'm using the pearl ones, which are at the top there, and then I'm using the starry ones, which are all the golds that you can see. There are quite a few. There are four pans that you can't see. They're a little cut off the film. I thought they were in camera or in, but they're not. This is my fourth time doing a voiceover for this video due to the fact that I had to change editing software twice today. This is the fourth time doing this, so hopefully this one takes. We'll get into that in a vlog. But for right now, I'm using my lovely paints, and I'm having a grand time listening to my book, listening to Spellbound. I forgot who it's by. I can look that up real quick. On my Audible, and see, there we go. On my Audible, and painting away, just painting my little heart out. The video just glitched. I hope it's still like. Oh, I'm having a rough time, you guys. I'm having a rough time with all this business. Oh, I had to watch several YouTube videos to research what was the best software for doing this kind of activity. How was I going to get this done? Is everything going to be okay? And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still recording, but the little icon on the player, it's seized up. I'm so confused. There we go. I don't know if this is working. I guess. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna keep going. Oh man, my whole life. I got a different software to edit this video, and I'm trying it out, and we're seeing how it goes. It's approximately 11:40 at night. I want to go to bed, but I would really also like to get this video edited and see if it's going to work on this software. So here we are. If you're hearing this, then obviously it worked. But, you know, in my current frame of mind, I'm a little discouraged. I did have a grand time listening to my book and painting. Just playing. You can see me in there with my fingers, grunging things up. I also have the granulating. I didn't finish telling you what paints I had out. The graphite, the tinted graphite set, which is also a set of, I believe, set of 6, and I have them in this little palette. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm sleepy. I had them in this little palette that my patron Barbara sent me last year, I think it was. Might have been the year before last. It's all mud in the brain, the timeline at this point, but I really love the palette. It's super handy for this size of paints. I haven't found another one like it anywhere, so if anyone has any idea where I could find one just like this, but maybe bigger, the one that holds maybe 48 pans. I say that because that's the set that I have. It has 48 in it. Aside from these are additionals to the Gansai Tambi set that I have. Yeah, I'm just having a grand time listening to my book and dropping paint on paper and fudging it around with my finger if I don't like the texture. The paints that have graphite in them are highly granulating, so when you mix them in with the pearl colors or the starry colors, they lend a little bit of granulation, which is really nice. I really like that effect. And I just really wanted to color in my backgrounds for my I just noticed that my voiceover is on two different lines now. Here's hoping it works. I'm just gonna give it a whirl and see what happens. Anxiety. It is your bestest friend. Um, but yeah, I wanted to drop color on these white backgrounds because I won't use them otherwise. I know me. I won't. With little things like this, I tend to not bother. But somehow psychologically in my brain, these feel like unfinished pieces, like the start of a piece, and I'm more motivated to finish them if they have a start. So that, and I just really wanted to play with color. A relaxing color play session. I've been doing a little bit of color play here and there in a sorry, another yawn. In a journal that I'm creating for color play, just learning what two or more colors can do within a palette, mixing them together, and trying out different combinations. It's a fun way to learn what your colors can and can't do, and what you can and can't mix with them. Um, I'm thinking here that I'm remembering that I wanted some light colored ones as well. The graphite ones tend to be a little heavier with color. They all re-wet really nice. And as you can see, I use the pearl ones all the time. They are almost completely gone. My other tray of the Starry collection is almost gone just like that one. I put the new ones in this fresh palette when I put it together just because I wanted it all to be the same level of wear because the graphite ones were very new as well. But they work really nicely together. I will say that drawing on the pearl ones or anything really with mica or pearlescent with inks and other mediums is a little more, especially with ink pens, because they tend to be slick. They're a shiny surface, and the ink doesn't want to grab as easily as I feel like it would on watercolor paper. Of course, just absorbs your ink pens, but I found that. Sorry about the yawning. I found that the best way to muscle through is just to muscle through. Muscling through your art project. That's so funny. I'm having a day, you guys. I've been doing the video editing and um, looking for a replacement for Photoshop as well. Uh, so that's been it's been a challenging day of research about something I wasn't anticipating researching. Oh, Lord help me. I'm getting in there and grunging these around again with my finger. On this one, I got a little dark right there, and I'm trying to use the contaminated white there next to that blue to make it a little brighter right there. That kind of worked. And then move those ones off, and then drop down, I think, 5 more. I usually do 4. I had 5, 6, there you go, in my hand, so getting close to the end of dropping color on these, and then we're going to do a little bit of drawing. I really do like these 2 colors on the end, that peachy pink color that I'm using right there. And the one next to it is much more pink, traditional pink. And I feel like this one would work really well on in clouds, in a landscape for the clouds. I think that would look really, really pretty, just fluffing it around, making it an orange and white kind of cloudy situation. I'm gonna have to try that. And then of course I ruined that whole thing by dropping in the granulating colors. That's so funny. I am looking for texture and a little bit of variance between color, light and dark. I'm trying to keep the dark towards the edges and more towards the bottom, the end sides than the top, just so that I have some sense of balance in the piece. I'm using my Quil brushes too that I got from Grabie. They're really nice brushes for watercolor. I'm having a lot of fun with them. I got the whole set, so I'm not really very shy about being pretty aggressive with them. Well, they're very nice for watercolor, though. I'm really liking them, and learning the water control with them has been a bit of a curve, but I need that practice anyways. I usually work pretty water heavy, and that control is kind of necessary in watercolor. So you know what it feels like to work, to find that fine balance with your watercolors, with the wetness level on the paper. Usually a shine on your paper for wet into wet is nice. Wet into dry is also, I use the different watercolor techniques interchangeably within one piece. I'll start out wet and wet and let it all dry and then go wet and dry and then wet area and work wet into wet again. It's just a whole back and forth and give and take kind of thing. A little carried away with that green, didn't I? Kind of scribbled it everywhere. Once again, trying to darken the edges. Get a little framing in. And then I spritzed because I'm tipping and tilting for that dripping effect to make it a little bit smoother transition. My teeny tiny spritzer. I did give my daughter my big spritzer to use with Astrid, and I found my medium-sized spritzer stashed away in a box with my mediums. I don't know why it was in there. I need to clean it and put water in it, put it back on the desk. I don't want to have to buy another spritzer. Such brat. I don't want to. So yeah, the little teeny tiny spritzer came in an art box. I don't know if it says which art box it came from. It's a mini mister. From Ranger. So I have no idea what art box it came in, but it definitely came in an art box because I don't buy Ranger stuff. It's a little too pricey for me. Plus it's all like scrapbooking stuff, and I have more than enough of that stuff with my Grabie boxes that I get. For the rest of this year though, this last Grabie box, I canceled my subscription just to save a little bit of money. I canceled Adobe, all of it, and that saved me $30. I canceled Grabie and Sticky, and that saved me $100 a month. And then I canceled a couple of TV apps that I'm not using because I don't watch that much TV. I have I'm sketching now. We're gonna draw flowers, and I'm having a little bit of trouble starting because once again that slickness of the pearlescent color there. It works. It totally works. It's just you gotta be patient and kind of let the pen get rolling. And sometimes you have to go over your line a couple times. I'm drawing Lily of the Valley right now. I think they're a beautiful flower. They're so pretty and delicate. I'm just going to draw their little bell shapes and overlap the little bells a little bit because there's two sprigs coming up from the left across to the right. I thought that would look pretty. Oh, and these are just like little one-off drawing sessions that I do. I like to work in mixed media a lot. Usually ink and watercolor are my favorite, usually, to get down on watercolor paper. But I have been known to add anything really onto painting. But for bookmarks, I try to keep it pretty, like I won't use oil pastels or anything silly like that. That's not cool. I do get in here with some Neocolor twos that you can see off to the right there, my little bin. I took them out of their great big tin and put them in these little cups in a tray that lives on the corner of my desk. Actually reorganized again. It's right up here to my right, so I can snatch it down and use it more readily because I love these. You can use them as a pastel or a watercolor, either direction. Not expressly for watercolor, but I have seen people wet the stick directly and use it, like dip it in the water. I've done that. You dip it right in your rinse water and draw with it. Or use your paintbrush directly on the tip of it if you want to give it a delicate area. Or put it on a palette, like scribble right directly onto a palette and then wet that. I've seen people shave off some of it and use it as a watercolor. They're using it as the crayon as well, but to get in those small areas. I feel like if you're going to use watercolor, just use watercolor. You don't shave down your Neocolor twos to make watercolor. They're kind of expensive to use that way. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but I feel like they're a little expensive to use that way. But I will dip them in water, and they have little tear sections down the pen, or down the crayon, with little tabs, so you can peel off a section of wrapper to bear a portion of the crayon so that you're not getting crayon on your fingers. It's still protected, but you can use more of the crayon if you want to. I broke up my white one. I need to look into seeing if I can get just a box of white ones because I use those all the time. Yeah, that's the one I go through a lot with the tempera gel sticks as well. If I could get just the white, like a box of 5 or a box of 10 whites for the tempera gel sticks, that'd be cool, because I use those for mixing and blending colors together. I blew through the white with the what was it, King Art? Yeah, the King Art gel sticks that I have. I don't have one no more. But I'm not going to buy a whole nother set just for the white. That's silliness. And I'm just sketching in my leaf and kind of winging it on the leaf in the leaf department. I used a reference photo for this, but I use that as like a guide, like an idea guide, and then I kind of go off the rails. Once I get my idea down, the main idea down, I just kind of stop looking at the reference photo and throw stuff in. So the leaves are just kind of thrown in. I wanted balance of line work on the edge, and that leaf on the bottom needed to be added in just so that there was a grounding to the image visually for me. And here I'm using my Neocolor twos. They're so fantastic. They're a little pricey, and you don't need a lot. Just the little set or the medium-sized set is more than enough. I got the big set because when I first saw them, I got the small, I think it's a box of 10 or 12, in an art box, in one of my art boxes, and fell in love with them. And I couldn't stop thinking about them. Like, I really, oh, look at that big set, and ooh, look at her use those. And then Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, used them, and I was sold. I was like, oh, I gotta have them. So I splurged and got them a couple of years ago. And once again, they're really slow wearing, like watercolors. I'm going to have them for a while. I've had them for a while. I've had them for at least a year now, maybe more. Probably a year and a half, 2 years, honestly. Time is muddy in my head. It's very fluid. And with the Neocolor twos, you don't need a wet paintbrush. You just need a damp paintbrush. And the variable there is wet your paintbrush in your water and, tap it off and then squeeze it out with your fingers pretty firmly. That's how wet it needs to be. because any more water than that, it makes the medium too runny, and it kind of removes it instead of blending it, or I like to say mushing it down into the little dips and hills and valleys of the paper, the texture. Um, it kind of makes it too wet and moves it away from where you want it to be. It does dry, but the texture after is not desirable for me. Yeah, I'm dropping in a little more color, a little more white, trying to get those little bells to stand up off the page a little bit. It's not really working out, but overall I like the finished effect. I'm adding yellow to lighten up and pop those leaves forward a little bit, make them look a little more vibrant. I don't like how dark I got them with the ink and then the darker Neocolor green. A little too dark for me. I'm gonna feel more spring-like, more fresh. There we go. A little more green on those stems because they kind of are bright yellow and that's not natural. There's usually a bit of green in the greenery, right? Why is your greenery yellow? Because it can. I am going to knock my plant clean off the top of that. I put my plant on the top of my hutch thing. I don't even know what this is called. So that it could get good sunlight. My daughter got me flowers, a plant dahlias there for Mother's Day and my birthday. And this apartment does not get a lot of light through the apartment window because there's one big window on the wall here. I'm trying to bring back the whites with the gel pen over the Neocolor twos, but that's not working out. I try really hard, but it just really doesn't work out all that well. Now I'm going in with the liner and kind of getting a little bit of outline on the edges, not all the little bells, but most of them, just to make them pop and to separate the grouping a little bit visually. And my plant's doing really well, but I don't get a lot of light in here through the apartment, so I have to put her right in front of the window, as she needs direct sunlight. And the windowsill's not quite big enough for her pot to sit on, so she's on top of the art tower. The art tower. The Tower of Art. Now I'm poking through and looking for another flower, and here we go. This one's just an S shape for the stem, like an elongated swoosh. And then we're going to just draw a faux flower. It's just a raggedy little faux flower. I draw these a lot. I doodle these a lot. These kind of swishy stems and crazy looking leaves. And I like a flower that has a raggedy petal. It feels more like a wildflower kind of thing. I'm going to throw in a little bud up there. And a little S shape for that stem. Oh my goodness. And then I just throw in leaves precariously here and there. There's no rhyme or reason. Wherever it feels right. I'm going to pick up those stems a little bit. And then I'm going to put in another flower here shortly. I am really hoping this editing software works. I am super kind of anxious about it. I really like this one, but it goes that way when I'm doing something like this. I haven't drawn all day and I decide to do something like this, and I'm just playing with color. Playing with color is the easy part. Splashing color around on paper is loose and fun, fancy free. And then you get into the drawing part, and it usually takes a couple little drawings for me to get the feel of what I'm doing, to feel the flow and relax and just kind of loosen up and go with it. And this is the one where I finally start feeling like, yeah, I'm all right, I'm digging this, I like this. I mean, I have fun through the whole process, but the drawing part, it takes a minute for me to relax. Whew, another yawn. I gotta go to bed. Just, again, super, almost dry brush and just kind of smushing the color into the paper, blending it into all the little nooks and crannies so that it looks a little more uniform. On that same brush, I don't think I've re-wet it even once while I was doing that. Now I'm going in with my colored pencils and trying to get the white to pop more from the pink background. And it kind of sort of works, but not as much as I wanted it to. So I try going over with the NeocolorII with the white. And then a little bit of pink colored pencil to get a little shadowing, a little depth and definition in there. And I love mixed media. You can just kind of just go for it. It's a lot of fun. Brighten up with a lighter green, some of those leaves. This one I really liked. I think it turned out really pretty. The first one, now that I'm looking at them like the next day, I really like the very first one is the bigger pink flower that I did. You can see in a second here. We're going to do little close-ups. I'm going to spread them all out. First, and the one on the left is the very first one I did. That's mostly colored pencil with a little touch of Neocolor on top. And then the green one, the second one is all colored pencil and ink. And then you saw me do the other two. And here's our little close-ups. And I'm sorry about the focus of the camera jumping like that. It's my phone. I don't know why it's doing that. Well, those turned out pretty good, and a little definition in the little bell shapes. I like them. And this is buds, I think. I don't know, I just thought they looked interesting. I went crazy with the leaves on that one as well. And this one, I just think it looks really pretty. That the texture of the watercolor paper for this is really nice too. I like texture in my pieces. But that's the 4 I did. And I have a bunch more, as you can see, to get drawing on. And I'm just showing you. See that glow on the pearls? It's very shiny and super slick for your pens. But I got a bunch more. Look at that. Fun. Gonna be fun. And I pull out 4 or 5 of these at a time, usually 4 because I like even numbers. It's a whole situation. I'm going to stack them up and I'm going to bend them back a little bit because they're bowing. Probably going to have to put them under something heavy. But that's all I've got for you for this video. Hopefully it all works out and I can upload it tomorrow morning. I'm going to export it tonight and upload it tomorrow. So fingers crossed. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.